Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Got a few things to share with you in this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, including perspective from two Bitcoin traders slash analysts. You'll see both very bullish on the future of XRP. It's just so fascinating to see from people who don't even necessarily consider themselves part of the XRP community. In this case, again, Bitcoin, self-described Bitcoin traders. I'll show you. And also, I want to share with you additional indicators that perhaps we're nowhere near the top of this market cycle. I need to make a big ass list. I've kind of started one, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, at the time I'm recording this video, it is 5:58 p.m. Central Time, Sunday, February 18th, 2024, which means that the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is going to be updating in less than 2 minutes. At the time of recording this, though, XRP is just a little over 56 cents. Bitcoin at $52,235. Entire asset class has a market cap of just shy of $2 trillion. And here you can see, this updates in a minute, so I'll hit refresh as soon as we get there. Excuse me. But the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, which updates just once every 24 hours, is currently at 72. So we'll see what it is once I hit update on this thing. I did want to note one particular correction here. I had been noting that there was 1 day of extreme greed in January of this year. And this isn't a major correction, but I was mistaken on that. There were actually 2 extreme greed days. So that means that you add those to the 2 days of extreme greed that we've had in February, with one of them being yesterday, and we have just 4 days of extreme greed. And so if you go down here, for those of you who care to look at the screen, what I've got on your screen is the max timeline for the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. And one of the things I've been pointing out is that, look, if this really is the top of the market, okay, so be it. But this doesn't look like typical blow-off top mania for a ton of reasons. And so we've got to get 4 days since the bottom of the cycle over a year ago. We got 4 days in extreme greed. That's it. If you look here at the end of 2020, before we even hit the highs, it's like every single day was in extreme greed. For those of you looking at the screen, you can see me scrolling back and forth across a bunch of dates. Anything 76 or higher is extreme greed. Anything 76 or higher. So what gives if this really is the top? And again, there are reputable analysts that are saying, no, there's really good reason to believe this. They're pretty much at the top. And, you know, Bitcoin, maybe it'll flutter about, get slightly higher, but maybe that'll happen for several months, but this is pretty much it. If they're right, they're right. But I'm just noting there are a bunch of things that make it kind of questionable, right? And so the other day I shared this post, and I want to repeat it real quickly in case anybody missed it. And then I have a couple things to add to this list, which is why I wanted to go through this again real quick. But on February 15th, I wrote the following. There is excitement in crypto, but it doesn't seem like blow-off top euphoria. Google searches are barely up for Bitcoin and crypto. No celebrities pumping S-word coins. No crypto Super Bowl ads. No laser eyes. No calls from family members or friends asking about crypto. We've only had 2 days of extreme greed on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index since the market started heading up over a year ago. So, if this really is the cycle top, all of those facts I cited are very weird. And so I stand by that. If this really is the top without some sort of mania, okay. And some people are classifying this as mania and euphoria. I don't see it. I don't see this as mania. I've been through this in the past. That's not what this looks like to be by a ton of metrics. And here we'll refresh the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It's at 7,500. So we're not, it's still just greed, not extreme greed. Here's a new thing to add to the list, though. This comes from Sam Callahan. Bitcoin is over $50,000, and retail trading volume on Coinbase is still 85% off its high. Bullish. See, and so this kind of goes hand in hand with what one of the facts I was sharing with you the other day, maybe been 2 or 3 days ago. But it was, I think, chart analyst Ali Martinez, he shared a chart showing that the number of new Bitcoin addresses being created on a daily basis has been trending downward recently, even as the price of Bitcoin has been trending up. And so he points out what this likely means is that the price increase is coming from the institutional side. There is no wave of new retail adoption or anything like that. Not really. Not in any sort of notable capacity. And so this I think this supports that. Because here again, you're looking for those who look at your screen, you can see this is Coinbase's consumer trading volume picked up in fourth quarter. Where has this been coming from? Because Coinbase is a massive cryptocurrency exchange, and the volume's nowhere near where it was when we had the mania in 2021. 85% off that high. So is this really the top? Again, if it is, it is. And if the analysts who say that that's what's most probable, if they end up being right, okay. I mean, of course, I'll accept it if that's reality. It just would be super weird if this was it. Because again, we didn't see a bunch of new people jump in. We haven't seen that. But that's also why it's so cool. If we're seeing these levels right now, and the retail mania hasn't even started, things are going to get bananas a little bit later in the year, wouldn't you suppose? And here's another thing to consider. This is from chart analyst Pintoshi, over 754,000 followers on social media platform X. And this chart is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH, otherwise known as Total 3. And this is going back to the later part of 2017. And he writes the following. Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. We could see this potentially when it's all said and done. This cycle hit a couple trillion. We aren't even close to new highs yet. But we are seeing the winners of this cycle, which should, in theory, have far more upside. See, and to me, that just logically makes sense, because when we saw Bitcoin in the upper 40,000s last market cycle and into the 50,000s, that looked like mania. That looks like it was completely insane. Bitcoin, Google queries through the roof, all the jazz, you name it. Any of those things that I named in my post that I just shared with you that I published to X a few days ago, all that was happening. But it's not right now. And so you can see, yes, we are a fair bit above the 2017 all-time high for Total 3. And where's the mania? I see a lot of excitement. I see a ton of excitement. Tons of excitement. But mania? Euphoria? I don't see that. And you can see here, Total 3, if you look back to the last market cycle, we're not even close. And so to know that, yes, people are excited and there's a bit of greed, but not extreme greed, not euphoria, not mania, that's kind of exciting. Because just looking at these factors, which I think are important to consider, it would lead one to believe that perhaps what we're going to see a little bit later in this year, perhaps sooner than later, is actual euphoria. It would just be super weird if we don't see that. Don't you think? I'm not crazy to think this, right? So I think I'm going to keep adding these and make a big old list and then just present them at some point in the future, perhaps. Or maybe I'll just keep bringing up at piecemeal. But either way, I just want to point this out because I'm not sure if these pieces of data are particularly widely known. So it is what it is. Oh, and there was also this, and I wanted to mention this too. Because look, I've never been driving the narrative of Bitcoin new all-time high because of ETFs. Like, I thought that was silly. I said, look, I think it's going to be a sell the news event, and I think ultimately it was. And then market's been moving back up despite that. But I've also said that I think over a prolonged period of time, the degree to which the Bitcoin ETFs will be positively consequential is understated. And I still firmly believe that. And if you don't believe that, then why do you think that BlackRock is going to fail with this investment vehicle? Because that just doesn't make sense to me. And here it's already wildly successful, even if a lot of people thought that it would result in higher Bitcoin price by now. I didn't, but it's still wildly successful. And we're barely into this. So Good Morning Crypto posted the following: breaking. BlackRock now owns 0.58% of the Bitcoin circulating supply, boasting a massive 105,280 Bitcoin valued at over $5.1 billion. $5.1 billion in 24 days. Brace for a crypto revolution as U.S. institutions gear up to trade altcoins, ushering in a new era of adoption and skyrocketing crypto prices. And so again, I do think that it will contribute to skyrocketing prices over a prolonged period of time, but at some point, ETF investors, they are going to want to secure profits, and maybe sooner than your typical crypto bros would want to, because if you're talking about even a 2, 3, 4x increase over a short period of time, people in traditional finance are not going to be used to that. They may want to snatch that up sooner than later. But still, 0.58% of all Bitcoin held by BlackRock. And if you look at all of the Bitcoin that's held by the firms that have Bitcoin ETFs, it's over 1% of the supply. So this thing just launched a little over a month ago. And fewer than 30 days, I think, if you're including just looking at business days. That's insane. Bitcoin's been around 15 years, and you're talking about in roughly a month, over 1% of all Bitcoin snatched up. Yeah, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing that dramatically, over time, impacts the supply and demand dynamics of Bitcoin way to the positive. Absolutely, unquestionably. Here's a post from XRP chart analyst Dark Defender. This is just an XRP price chart. Great discussions on ODL or programmatic sales of XRP are ongoing and created significant FUD where I had no impact. Yeah, I'll just pause and note. I'm assuming that a lot of you are aware of that. In case you missed out on that, I published a video talking about this. I guess it was literally just yesterday because I think it's a bunch of silly nonsense. But anyway, then he says, meanwhile, XRP preparing for the surge. Just see the 66.49 cent level and how quickly it escalated towards an all-time high and the $2 level previously. All will unite again. And I think that it's easy to forget just how quick XRP can move when it really starts going. And if you weren't here in 2017, my God, I'm sorry you didn't get to see it in person. But you can still go back and look at the data. It's still out there on charts. And look at this candle, this glorious XRP rocket ship here, melting faces. And that happened from when it started going in the middle of December 2017 to its peak in early 2018. Lasted, I think, about 2.5 weeks. It was fast. Super, super fast. And everybody thought, oh, it's dead. It's not doing anything. XRP ended up being the best performer for that market cycle. Incredible returns. So when it goes, it goes. We don't control that part. But, you know, even if we see a couple different bursts, like we saw that. I mean, that's historically normal. We saw that last market cycle. We saw that in the 2017 market cycle, where, you know, XRP, the beginning part of the year, maybe it was April or May, ran up from about half a penny to, I think, about 42 cents, then back down, traded sideways for about half a year, then had another major burst, went almost up to $4. Well, we saw that type of thing for the previous market cycle. We saw, when was it? Maybe early November of 2020. XRP, it seemed like it was never going to move, and then suddenly inside of, like, I don't know if it was a week or two, very quickly, though, it was suddenly above 80 cents. And then back down a bit, and then, you know, the nonsense with the SEC happened. But then it had another burst later, didn't it, in April of 2021. So it's not crazy to think that we could see some serious action sooner than later, even if that's not going to be the top for XRP. And so maybe we do see it get up to close to $2, which is what, in the short term, which is what a lot of analysts think is pretty reasonable to suppose. Which brings us to this article. Crypto Schofield maps XRP breakout targets, eyeing 244.61% rally to $1.90. Details. A notable Bitcoin trader has provided an update on the trajectory XRP could chart in the coming days amid the burgeoning bull season, targeting a 244.61% rally. And I don't really need to read the article. Let's just go straight to the source. This is what they're covering right here. This is just an XRP price chart. And he just simply wrote XRP update. And so even if we don't know exactly what he's thinking the timeline is going to be, because this isn't a good indication of that, he sees key levels of $1.21 and $1.90. So it's fascinating because, again, this is somebody who is more of a Bitcoin guy. Here you can see, I just highlighted his profile there, self-described trading ideas, Jim Hunter, Bitcoin ETH Zig. So there you go. And he's not the only one. They actually highlighted a separate Bitcoin guy, Miles G Investments. You can see self-described as Bitcoin day trader, 150K YouTube. And so I don't know if he'd even consider himself to be in the XRP community, but he holds a lot of it. Here you can see he shared this screen grab and wrote the following. XRP holdings update. I have more in other wallets too. Will trim some profits around $3 to $7 this year. And so this seems to be more of a Bitcoin guy, but he's certainly long XRP. As you can see on the screen here, he has over 180,000 XRP, and he's going to be taking some profit between $3 to $7 this year. He believes it's happening. And again, I don't make price predictions. I'm not a chart guy. That does not sound crazy. In fact, like, for anybody that's making price predictions, that's among the most conservative of estimates I've ever seen. Like, to be honest with you. That doesn't sound great. And price, when it goes, it really goes. I wouldn't be surprised in the least to see this sooner than later. And of course, if Bitcoin really doesn't hit a new all-time high, and some think that it won't, I'm skeptical of XRP getting to those types of levels. I'm skeptical of XRP getting into a new all-time high. If Bitcoin doesn't, and if Bitcoin doesn't, okay, fine. Hopefully, I'm wrong about XRP and it runs anyway. That would be fantastic. I just think it would be harder because we've never seen it before. We've never seen XRP hit a new all-time high without Bitcoin doing so first. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But all that to say, there are a lot of reasons to think this market's going to go way higher. Nobody knows for sure. Nobody. Even the most reputable, smart chart analysts, most thoughtful analysts out there, nobody knows. We're going to find out together. But I'm more optimistic than not. I mean, this is the most exciting time for me as an XRP holder. Last cycle sucked because of the SEC crap. I mean, I still had fun being in crypto, but man, all that nonsense with the SEC, it was what it was. And I was super excited in 2017, but I didn't have that much XRP back then. I've had a long time to accumulate. So for me, this is the most optimistic I've ever been about XRP as a holder. And I've been here over 6 years, never sold a single XRP. It's the most optimistic I personally have ever been, and I can't wait to see what happens here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!